Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and today I'm coming to you with part 3, the final part of our granny square stash busting scarf. It's very exciting. Now it's a final part because you guys were probably on that very first round where I said get to the end of the row and you'll get to that stitch marker stitch. You will be there in a moment and I'll get you to head over to the workstation and do that. But today you're going to focus on the very next round once you've completed that section, and that will be the round where you see some of these beautiful little peaks on your scarf. All right, so having said that, let's just head over to the workstation and finish off our scarf. Today you will need the same hook that you use to make your squares with. You will need your scissors, your sewing needle, stitch markers. You'll definitely need about 4 or 6 stitch markers or more depending on how many you want to use. You may not need the stitch markers if you're really good with your count. Then you won't need stitch markers. When I say really good, you only have to know 12. 12 stitches over, special set. 12 stitches over, special set. Once you see that round, then you'll know exactly what I mean. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining us, and a special thank you to Green Butterfly and Anne McSee for their colour combination in today's tutorial. I'll let you head over to the workstation now and complete your scarf. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of, wow, such a very long scarf. Alright, so let's continue. What we need to do is fill up our very last space before the corner area, which is 1, 2, and 3. You know this part, you've been doing this all along. But now we finally get to slip stitch into that stitch marker stitch. So pop your hook in the stitch, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook. What we're going to do here is chain 1. In the same stitch you are in, you're doing a single crochet US, double crochet UK. So you pop your single crochet in that stitch, pop your hook in the stitch, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops, and pop your stitch marker in that stitch. You'll be slip stitching into that stitch at the end of the round. All right, this is our final round, guys. Get excited. What we're going to do here in the very next stitch is a single crochet again. Hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both those loops. Into this stitch right here, single crochet again. All right, once we get into the corner, we're doing what I'd like to call a special cluster set. All right, yarn over our hook into the space with a double crochet once, twice, hold it there. We're going to do what we call a treble or a double treble for the UK. That's yarn over our hook twice, yes, so once and twice into the space, pull a loop through, 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both those loops. Then you're going to put another 2 double crochets in the same space. So in you go with your 1, just a normal double crochet, US, treble UK, and a second one there. So what you've done is the special cluster set in your corner. Now this special cluster set is going to be done throughout your whole piece in different sections. I'm going to pull up a loop so you can have a look. All right, and the best way I find to do this is pretty much popping stitch markers in. All right, so here's your corners. When you count your cluster sets across, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cluster sets, yes? So what you want to do is pop a stitch marker, any stitch marker you have, on the center stitch of the 4th cluster set. All right, so not including our corners, you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab your stitch marker, that is the first double crochet, and that is your second double crochet. All right, that you don't have to worry too much about it if you know how many stitches to count across. All right, so we're going to count our stitches, but if you don't like counting stitches, just do that. You pop a stitch marker on the center stitch of your 4th cluster set, and that's where you will do your very next special cluster set. But in the meantime, all you're doing across the way until you get to the 3rd set, all you're doing is popping single crochets. All right, so you need to pull your work right over and find that first double crochet, and you're popping your single crochet in there, single US, double UK, hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both those loops, 1, into the next one, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that's the count you need to remember, 12, yeah? Then what you're doing here is you're going to put that special cluster set in that center stitch. Or if you don't want to use a stitch marker, all you have to remember to do is skip 1 and a double crochet in the next stitch. 1, let's remove that stitch marker. And now, I'm sorry guys, the scarf is falling off the table. Just give me one moment. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to pop our 2nd double crochet in there. Remember, we are doing our cluster, our special cluster set. So the very next stitch will be our treble. Treble US, double treble UK. Yarn over the hook twice into the same stitch you are in. Pull a loop through, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over 2, 3. Yarn over 2, 2. Yarn over the last 2. And 2 double crochets in the same space. 1 and 2. All right, so your special cluster set you did in the corner, you're doing in the center cluster of your side. All right, hope that makes sense. Now you're going to skip 1, go into the very next one with single crochets, and you're going to count your 12 single crochets across. So skip 1 into the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and if you did your count right, you should have one more, 12. All right, that's considering you started your single crochet in the right spot and you did your centerpiece in the right spot. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is do our special cluster set right in that corner space, and that consists of, again, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, a treble, 1 and 2 into the space, pull a loop through, 4 loops, yarn over 2, 3 loops, yarn over 2, 2 loops, yarn over the last 2. 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. And there is your special cluster set. All right, what you do in every corner is move your guys over, because right there you can see that little stitch there. I'm sure you can see it. Pop the hook in right there, and you're doing a single crochet. So single 12 across. 1, 2, 3, and before you do, you could place your stitch marker in your sets. So there's your one, there's your first set there. Not including your corners, yeah? You go 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop your stitch marker in the center of that 4th stitch. Again, if you don't want to, we've already counted 3 single crochets across. Yep. So you need to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It almost looks like it's not going to make it, does it? But it does. Because once again, remove your stitch marker. You're going to do double crochet. You're going to skip that first stitch, remember, and go into the second one or the stitch marker stitch with your special cluster set of double crochet 1 and 2, treble, 2, 2, 2, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. The bonus is, guys, this is a repetitive step until you get to that section there. So let's continue. Single, skip 1 and single 12 across. 1, 2, 3. Pop this on fast. And 12. All right, so whilst we are here in the corner, what we're going to do is just do single crochets, but not your average. You do 1 single crochet in the corner space, just do 1 for now in the whole space. And now you're going to do what we call single crochet 2 together. It'll consist of 1 being there and there together in the same, which is done like this. Pop your hook in the space, pull a loop through like normal, and you have your 2 loops. Then you jump into the next corner space, you pop your hook in, you pull a loop through, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, single crochet in the same space. So what you've really done here is you've done your 3 single crochets across. 1, your 2 together, 2, and 1 more makes 3. So this space here where your seam line is going to remain as single crochets. But for every 1, 2, 3, 4th set, you will do your special cluster set. All right, so don't worry about your corners. Just go omit your corners so you can find your next set. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if all of that is too confusing, this is the easy part. It's so simple. You've done 1 corner, 12 single crochets across, skip 1, special cluster set in that top of that center stitch. Skip 1, 12 single crochets across, your single crochets in the corner including your joining 2 together, 12 single crochets across, exactly the same. So from here, it is so simple. All you're doing is 1 single crochet, join 2 together, and a second single crochet on the other side. So altogether it calculates as 3. 12 across, special stitch. 12 across, close up. 12 across, special stitch. 12 across, close up. That is going to be the same all the way across. Now you don't need to put these stitch markers if you're happy to count your 12 single crochets across, and remembering to skip 1 before you go into the next stitch, and skip 1 when you're coming out of the next stitch to do your 12 across. I hope that made sense. So what we'll do right now is I'm going to pop this on fast, and we're going to do our 12 single crochets until we get to our special cluster set. All right, so remember to move your work over. Find that first stitch in there. It's a bit tight, but it's there. And single 1, and let's pop this on fast, and off we go. 2. And 12. When you get to your 12th stitch, you should have 1 remaining. Or if you haven't placed a stitch marker, all you need to do is yarn over your hook, skip 1 stitch, go into the next stitch with your 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, 1 treble, and 2 double crochets. It's as simple as that. Oops, I think I split a stitch there, my apologies. Let's try that again. 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Again, skip that next one. You're in all that set. Skip the next one. You're doing a single crochet in your next one, and we're doing 12 across. 1, 2, off we go. And 12. Should land on your very last stitch. All right, and then you have your corner spaces. We do 1 single crochet in the first space. We do 2 single crochets together, including both spaces. So start in the first, 2 loops on top, jump into the second, 3 loops, yarn over our hook, pull through all 3 loops, and then a second single crochet, which if you had to look at it, it classifies as 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then we're going to do exactly that all the way across. So what I might do is I might let you head off on your own. If you're a bit uneasy about it all, I'm going to pop a little time up here right now, yes, where you can head off on your own and repeat that time over and over again, and you can get to all the way across the side, one side only, and then get to the first corner. All right, just get to that first corner for now, and then meet me back here. It's going to take you a while. Meet me back here, and then we will talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, how gorgeous is this looking? All the way down or up, or whichever way you went for your scarf. Don't you love it? All the way down or up. So by the time you got to the end of your piece, you should have gotten to the part where you had your 12th single crochet in the top of the last double crochet. Yes? So what I want you to do before you start is pop your stitch marker in your 4th cluster set. So ignoring your corner and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the second stitch. Now that's only if you want to, otherwise use count. And the count is like this. In the first space you're doing double crochet, 1 and 2 and a treble, 1 and 2 into the space, doing your 2, 2 and 2, and then 2 more double crochets in the corner, 1 and 2. All right, and what are you going to do from here? Single 12 across, skip 1 space, special cluster set in that stitch marker. All right, so let's pop this on fast and off we go. Remember to move your set over, pop your single crochet in your first stitch, 1, and off we go. And 12 right there. So what we have here obviously is our little space, and there's our stitch marker. All right, so what are you going to do? Skip that first space, pop 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, a treble in the same stitch, 2, 2 and 2, and 2 double crochets in the same stitch, like so. Guess what? That's pretty much it. 12 single crochets across, and then the corner. We're going to pop this on fast, skip the first one, go into your next, single crochet 1, and off we go. 2, and 12, and your 12th stitch should be your very last double crochet. Now what we're going to do here is turn our work. In that space, what are we doing? Our special set of 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, whoops, and your treble. I was going a little fast for you then, sorry guys, and 2 double crochets, and 2. All right, so what I want you to do here, oh, we're so far in, here we go, is grab your little stitch marker, yes, and there's your corner spaces. You want your 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place your stitch marker in your second stitch, all right? Okay, one more time, we're going to go really fast, again, doing single crochet, move your little guys over, single 1, and 12 on that very last stitch. Once again, you've got a space before your stitch marker. You can remove that stitch marker now. And what are you going to do? Skip 1, put your special cluster set in that space. 1, 2, treble, 2, 2, 2, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. All right, from here we're going to get close to that corner now, the seam line corner. Yep. We're going to skip 1, jump into the next one with 12 single crochets across. I'm going to pop this on fast and off we go. And 12. And just like any other seam line, you're going to do what we've been doing all along, so nothing's changed, guys. All you're going to do is pop a single crochet in the corner, do 2 single crochets across both corners. So start your single crochet, jump into the next corner, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 and do another single crochet. Move everything over, first single crochet, 1, 2, and so on, 3, all the way up to your 12th stitch. I'm going to pop this on fast. You could pop your stitch marker in there if you like, but we've done 3 and off we go, 4, and 12. All right, what we're going to do is do one more special set. Yarn over our hook, skip that first stitch, go into the second one with your 2 double crochets, 1, 2, a treble, and 2 double crochets, all in the same stitch. All right, I'm not going to do any more. I just want to show you something real quickly, that if you played your cards right and did your numbers right, your little special sets should be on every corner and in between each square set. So your next one will be there, your next one will be there, there, all the way up, and you're going to continue to go all the way up. You're going to go right to that very last set. I don't need to put a stitch marker, but you can put it in your 4th set. Then go all the way up to here, get to this section right here, and then you are going to have to wait for me there, because I think you could do this now. All right, so if you wanted to repeat it once again, I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing here anyways. You can look back at this time. It goes from this set to this set. All right, the time right there goes from this set to this set. So if you want, you can continue doing exactly the same all the way up, get to the end of your piece, meet me there once you're done, and we will talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, look at how big our scarf is. Alright, you would have found, and you know, this was normal, that when you got to the end of this side, it only added up to 9. Because your last 3 stitches, 10, 11 and 12, are your very first 1, 2, 3 single crochets that you did. So you've got your 9, 10, 11, 12, and there's your corner. All right, I failed to mention that earlier, but you will have ended up with the 9th stitch, and then you're going to slip stitch to join. Now there are many ways you can do this. You can slip stitch to join, which is quite simple, but then there's the other way. I know a lot of people like this other way, where you lift it up, you give it a cut, and you sew it through that very 2nd stitch right there and pull it through. Okay, we'll do that. Let me show you that way. There's many ways. Look, I've shown you 3 different ways. This is another way. I've shown you 2 different ways, sorry. And this is the 3rd way. This is one of the ways that one of my crochet buddies taught me not long ago. And she said the way I do it with the Sunflower Delight jacket, which you see right there, she said the way I do it with that was a little different than the way she was taught. So she showed me her way, where you lift your loop as high as you want, because you are finished, guys, but you still haven't joined yet. Cut it and just pull that loop gently up. Thread your needle. Okay, you don't have to pull it tight yet, just thread your needle for now. And that stitch marker stitch we're not going to touch at all. Her theory was to go into the stitch next to the stitch marker stitch. So pop your hook in that stitch right there. I'm sorry, try needle in that stitch right there. Just remove your stitch marker for a moment. And then what she did was she pulled it through like that, and she came back and went down into the back of that stitch. Let's see if I can try it. The back of the, here's the stitch right there first, right? She went through the back of that loop right there and down into, there's a little stitch at the back there, little thread right there, and down into there. All right, I hope you saw that, and pulled it through like so, and it literally looks like you've done the 2. Me personally, I don't like the idea of it. I find that sticks out a little too much, so I changed it to suit. You don't need to do this part. You can turn around and start weaving it in, but yours truly, I'm a little paranoid, so I'm going into the slip stitched stitch, and that's just me being paranoid. You don't have to do this. I'm pulling it through, going into the very next stitch there, pulling that through, and my thread has gone just the same, and I've reassured that stitch so it doesn't stick out. That's just me being so fussy. That wasn't necessary. You could have turned it over and started to weave in, which we're going to do right now. And the idea is to find some little thread at the back, making sure you can't see the needle from the front. Yes, little thread down the back, and pull it through that thread. Don't pull so tight, but pull it enough so it's closed in. Then I'm going down into some other threads, but very, very light at the back. Don't go through all of your work here, just through a very top layer. See that little thin layer of thread? Yeah, and then once you get down into there, whoops, you can go through some of the stitching of the pink, or watermelon in this case, and pull it through like that. Give it a gentle tug, make sure it's not pulling too much, and now what you're going to do, easy is just split a tiny little stitch there and weave this thread through. Now yours truly is not just weaving it under the loops. I'm literally splitting some of the watermelon thread on the inside, being careful not to have your needle showing, or you will see the grey. All right, so you pull that through, give it a gentle tug. Guess what? It's not enough. Yours truly, I am very pedantic with ends, and I'm going to weave it in one last time, making sure you can't see the needle from the front. If you wanted to, you could have weaved all the way into that and gone into that, but we're not going to do that because you have another tail that needs to go into there. But this is done, this one. Take your needle out, and give your work a cut. Have a look. Just give it a gentle tug. If you give it a gentle tug, that tail disappears. All right, and it's not going to come out because you have weaved it in 3 different times. And you've also weaved it in, no, you've weaved it in 2 times, but you've weaved it in down here as well. So having a look at the front, you cannot see where your single crochet started from, or where it ended. You can't see it, which is fantastic. So what I want you to do now, very simple. See this tail right here? Weave that up and down 1,000,000 times, well 3 to be exact. Go over here. If you haven't already done it, like I haven't, I did all the other ends. The blue, you're going to weave that in and out twice, because we've already crocheted over it once. So you're going to weave in and out. All right, I'm not going to show you that. I'm pretty sure you know how to weave in ends. If you don't, I've left a couple of links in the description box down below of other tutorials that we have weaved in ends before. So there you have it, guys. Your scarf is complete. But how do you wear your scarf? I hear you ask. So many different ways. I'm going to show you 3 today. Here's one. You can wear it just like a shawl, the way I was wearing it when I first started talking earlier. The other way you can wear it is you can actually lift one up one side like that. The other one goes all the way around, comes forward, and you can have such a high neck scarf if you are really cold. And this can be worn like that to keep your chest warm as well. That's 2 ways you can wear it. But here's another way my son wears his scarves, okay? So I thought, let's try it. That's an interesting way. He puts both these pieces together like that. There's my little hand there. Pop it around my neck. Yep. Grab that little hand, pull it through like so. And there you go. And that's how he wears his scarves. Oh, it doesn't have all this hair to take out. Make sure you don't have all that hair stuck in there. But that's exactly the way he wears his scarf. I really love this way. I love it so much. And it can keep your chest warm and your neck warm. And you can pop your jacket on. It can almost look like a bow tie as well. How do you like that, guys? So there are many ways you can use your scarf. I'm not going to put it on because it's really warm in here with the lamps. But thank you very much, a very special thank you that is, to the lovely Anne McC and a Green Butterfly for their colour combinations today. Now, I did leave a little disclaimer in part 2 that if you wanted to make your scarf a little longer, just add 1 more square or even 2 more squares and you can have yours a little longer. And there you go. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Please leave any comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do all the wonderful things that you guys do for me. A very special thank you to the lovely Anne McC and Green Butterfly for their colour combination in today's stash busting scarf. Ciao for now.